Hi, I'm Samantha Bryant with Glory Fitness, downtown Oxford. I specialize in holy yoga, which we're going to do today. So I invite you, no matter where you are, to grab out your mat or just join me wherever you are and worship Jesus, and we're going to do some yoga. So I ask you first, we're just going to do a simple seating pose, so Indian style. We're just going to go ahead and just sit there, and we're going to start to listen to your breath. So you can go ahead and put your hand on your belly and one on your chest and just start to really listen to your breath and pay attention to it. Our breath is the very most important part of our practice. It is the very most important thing of our life. God breathed in breath to us and Adam in the very, very beginning, and that's what makes us living. So you can go ahead and just start listening to your breath, and we're going to start doing it through our nose and out your nose. And you should feel your belly rise and fall at this time and sound like the ocean. So with holy yoga, we always set our intentions in the very beginning on Jesus, and I have a scripture for us. So today it's Romans 10:10, and it is, God has set everything right between you and me. And I just want you to just close your eyes and really breathe in that truth. And literally exhale any external draws that you came here with, any stressors that you have. And just know that Jesus is our intention, that he has made everything right between me and you in him. It is just such an honor just to follow him, and this is what we are doing today, just to worship him. So right where you're at, I just ask you to breathe in on a count of 3. Hold it for 2, and then just exhale for 2. And next time I want you to do 6. Inhale for 6. Hold it for 3 counts, and then exhale for 6. Continue doing that, and then we are going to go ahead and do some neck rolls. So you're just going to go to the right, front, and then all the way to the back. You can keep your eyes closed if you want to just keep focus on your breath and your intention of your practice today. While you're doing your neck rolls, I'm going to go ahead and pray for you. And you can go to the right and to the left, whatever you're comfortable with. But dear Lord, I just ask you for this time and everybody who's able to just sit down wherever they are and just worship you and draw closer to you. I hope that they set their intentions in this practice and their day and their week on just knowing that you have made everything right in their life through the blood of you, dear God. Thank you very much for this practice, and let's just worship you. Pray in your name, amen. Now we're going to go ahead and do some twists. So we're going to go ahead, and you're going to take your right arm right behind you, and your left arm is going to go on your right knee, and your gaze is going to go over your right shoulder. Just really stretch out that right side. On an inhale, and exhale back to the middle. We're going to take another inhale for length. Left arm behind us, right hand on the knee, and a nice big other twist. Remember the breath. Go ahead, inhale, and exhale back to the middle. So now we're going to go ahead and roll down. And we're going to do what's called a seated pigeon. So you're going to go ahead and take your right knee and bend it and place your right foot on your left knee. And then we're going to raise our left leg, and we're going to hold our hands right below that left knee, and we're just going to pull it closer to us. We'll inhale for length, and then exhale, always in our nose and out our nose, drawing our leg closer to you. And you should really feel that stretch right there in your IT band. You're going to go ahead and place both knees on the ground, or both feet on the ground now, bending our knees. And then our left leg is going to go ahead. Same thing. Foot on our right knee, hands right on our right thigh, and then lift that right leg up and just draw it closer to you. If you want a nice deeper stretch, you're gonna place that left elbow right into that thigh, opening up that left leg while you're drawing that right leg closer and closer to you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and place both legs back on the ground. And I want your heels to be about a palm's length away from your hips. So you're gonna go ahead, just bend your knees, have your shoulders drawn back and down. We're gonna take an inhale here. And the exhale, we're just gonna rise those hips all the way to the sky. You're gonna hold it here, and what I really want you to make sure is that that belly button is tied down like there's a string tied to your spine. So it should be sinking in like our ribs are knit together by a corset. So just really hold in that position right there, and we're gonna just take one more inhale. And on the exhale, we're just gonna slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae, which will protect our back. We're gonna do it a couple more times. So we're gonna do another inhale. And the exhale, we're just gonna rise those hips up again. In this time, you can go ahead and place your hands, clasp them behind your hips, and really open that shoulders up and get a nice big shoulder stretch. One more inhale. On the exhale, release your hands, and then start to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, we're just gonna do one more. Inhale. Exhale, come back up. Clasp those hands again. And then we're gonna roll back down. I want you to hug your knees right here, and we're just gonna roll in circles just to massage those hips out. That was a lot of work we just did there. You can go to the right and go ahead to the left. Remember your breath. Remember really just to rock it out. And remember our intention to today's practice. We're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break, and you can just go ahead and just keep doing those circles. Do about 4 to the right and then 4 to the left. Welcome back, guys. I hope that you're all stretched out and ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and cross our ankles right where we're at, and we're just going to roll up back into our seated position. And just find a comfortable position where you are at right now, and we're just going to move into table. And with table, you're just gonna make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are aligned with your hips. And pull that belly button into your spine. Your back should be flat, literally like a table. I should be able to set a cup of coffee on there and it won't spill. You do wanna make sure that your hands are shoulder width apart though. They're right aligned with your shoulders. We're gonna go ahead and do some cat-cows now. So first thing we're gonna do is cat, and we're going to inhale to cat, and that's the only pose in yoga where your belly just falls and your gaze comes up. So take a big inhale, and the exhale, you're gonna round that spine all the way up and in. Your gaze follows to your thighs, and you're going to look just like a Halloween cat. So inhale to cow and exhale to cat. And we're going to do about 4 of those on the measure of your own breath. Just remember to really arch that back up. And I just want to remind you of our scripture that Jesus has set everything right between us. Just meditate on that while you're breathing in the truth. One more inhale. Exhale back into cat. And we're going to go ahead and meet back into table. We're going to do some balance work now. So you're in table, and we're going to go ahead and shoot our right arm up, and our left leg is going to go out. Right here, I want to remind you that you want your hips level and your shoulders level. Still making that back, being able to hold up a cup of coffee. Inhale here. We're going to exhale back down into our table. Another inhale, and then our exhaling back into our left arm up this time and our right leg out. Keeping that core engaged. One more inhale, then we're going to go ahead and exhale. And we're just going to do that one more time. And this is really just working your balance and working your core, which is your powerhouse, which definitely is where your balance comes from. So we'll just exhale back down into table and then inhale back up into the other side. Exhale back down. All right, so now we're going to go and sit back. Our great toes are going to meet. Our knees go wide, and we're just going to push back and do nice child's pose. Your forehead can hit the ground, and just push those sit bones back into your heels, really to get a nice stretch. Your core should still be engaged. You want to pull that belly button into your spine and really just reach your arms up for a nice shoulder stretch also. Child's pose is a place where you go for prayer. If you feel the Lord speaking to you, no matter what you're doing, you don't have to set a time out for child's pose. You could be in the middle of any pose, feel him speaking, and you just hit your knees and definitely get into child's pose. It's also if you feel your body aching, hit child's pose. It's not a place of weakness. It's a place of strength where you know that you need to come. We're just going to come back up into our table. Make sure our hands are underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. Engage that core. Now we're going to go ahead and get in position for our first downward dog. You're going to curl those toes under, and with your navel pulled into your spine, you're just going to inhale. And the exhale, just rise that hips up. With downward dog, you can reposition yourself. I always have to. My legs are so long. So you can walk them up forward a little bit. And if you're on your toes or your heels, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that core is engaged and those hips are meeting where the ceiling meets the wall. We're going to go ahead and walk our dog out, pedaling our feet, really stretching those back calves. We're going to rise up on our toes, pushing those heels back down into the ground, doing that a couple times, and remembering your breath. Inhale up and exhale down. All right, we're going to go ahead now and just hold this for a nice inhale and exhale. Okay, now we're going to go walk our hands forward to the top of our mat. And we're going to be in forward fold now. You can go ahead and grab your calves if you need to, and really just pull the weight of your body into your calves. You should just really feel that stretch, and you can straighten out your knees as you need to. All right, we're going to go ahead and do warrior one now. So I want you to take that left leg out and blade it to the back with our right leg real strong and come up with our core. Stand up strong, arms overhead, and your hips should be shining to the front of the room. So go ahead and keep that core engaged. That is where your strength comes from. And of course, comes from the Lord. So we're just gonna go ahead and roll those shoulders up and back. You can do cactus arms. I have bad shoulders. I love to do them. So you're just gonna go ahead and take a breath here. And we're gonna exhale into warrior two. We're gonna heel toe that back left leg out, and you want your heels to be even. And the point with warrior two is you want your arms out strong to praise the Lord, and also to have your shoulders back. Your hips are shining to the sidewall now, and goal is to get that front leg parallel, but still keeping the crown of your head into your tailbone out. So you can go ahead and hold that in this commercial break, and you can go ahead and windmill your arms down and do a lunge too. So I will meet you guys back in a quick break.
Hi, I'm Riley from Heavenly Paws Animal Rescue. I'm here with Weenie. Weenie was a 10-year-old dachshund who was overlooked online, but when seen, he was a loved match. So please, come to our next adoption event and take a look. You might be able to find your forever loved and take a pet home for its forever home. But I'm here today about something very serious. Never ever should you leave your pet in the car. On a beautiful 78-degree day for you and I, it can be 120 degrees in your car in just minutes. Leaving a pet in the car could cause suffering, disability, or even death. It's illegal to leave your pet in the car in 14 states. So please, don't leave your pet in the car. For OCTV and Heavenly Paws, I'm Riley. Appreciate your furry friend. Looking for a pet? Go to www.heavenlypawsofmichigan.com. Thanks.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're just gonna go ahead and float that foot back up to meet the right one, and we're gonna go back into our forward fold. Take a breath here, inhale. Exhale our hands out in front, and we're gonna step back into a plank. If you need to be standing, or you can always do kneeling. So whatever you're comfortable with today. The beautiful thing about yoga is that it's your own practice, and it's really a practice. So do whatever you need to do today, and we're gonna hold that plank for one more inhale and exhale. Then we're gonna push back into another downward dog. Our second one for the day. What I wanna remind you this time is that our hands should be palming like a basketball. Our palms should not be on the ground, but our fingertips should be, just like how you would grab a basketball. Again, I want you to walk out those feet, rise on those toes, down on your heels, and really just push that core into the back of your spine. We're gonna go ahead again and just walk our hands up, another forward fold. And we're gonna just do warrior one on the other side now. So walk that right leg back out, bladed, pointed to the side wall. Come back up, nice strong core. Hips shining forward, arms up, rolling back. And just right here, you just take a nice deep inhale. Then exhale. We're gonna go ahead again and shine out to warrior two. Your gaze is gonna go over those right fingertips. Your hips are over to the wall. side wall. We're just going to hold it here for a second. Then again, we're going to go ahead and windmill your arms down into a nice lunge. And before the commercial break, you saw me go ahead and take a twist. And you can go ahead and try that now if you guys want to. Your hands are just down on the ground. And then we're going to just lift that hip up and our arm up, and our gaze follows. That's a nice twist to do right there. Come back down, and we're going to step this left foot back with our right foot and hold our plank. Remember, either on your toes or on your legs. And you're just going to hold this for a nice inhale and exhale. We did seated pigeon in the beginning. Now we're going to do just regular old pigeon. You're going to bring that right knee to your right hand and that left foot to your left hand. The left knee just follows, and you're just going to go ahead and just sit in this and feel that in your hip. Same sensation we felt in the beginning. Take an inhale, then exhale. We're going to go ahead and fall to our forearms. And again, just like child pose, you can put the forehead to the ground. And again, you can have your core engaged in hitting that tailbone or that spine right there in the back. This is a great, great position of prayer. So again, I'll just remind you that Jesus is always there for us, no matter what, and he has set everything right between us. How beautiful is that? So I just want you to breathe in that truth. And then exhale. We're going to go ahead, come back up to our hands, come back up on that left toes, that left leg extends, and our right leg meets. We're back into plank. Take an inhale here. Then on the exhale, we're going to go ahead, same thing. Right leg drops. Hold it here once, and then come back to our position of prayer. You really try to pull that left thigh back to meet that right foot. If you can, just really stretch it out. You should feel that nice big stretch. We'll take one more inhale here. Then on the exhale, we're going to go ahead and rotate and just go ahead and find our sit bones on the mat. We'll come back to where we started in simple seating. Keep from the crown to our tailbone. We're going to make a nice big long line. And our left hand is going to come by our thigh. Our right leg is going to come on up. Our right hand is going to come on up. And then we're going to make a nice big twist to the left and really open that right side body. And I just want to invite you guys, whoever is watching this, I'm right downtown Oxford. I'd love for you to come and join me. You can contact me at 248-622-1872, and I can always just help you. Reach me for the Glory Yoga. So we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to feet on the ground, knees bent, scooch to the front of our mat, and we're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Remember that protects our back. And now we're just going to have our legs sprawled out to the side of the mat and our arms out by our side. We can open our palms and set our shoulders back so it really opens your shoulders. It's a real nice big stretch right there. And this is our final resting pose, or called corpse pose. And this is where you should feel your breath start to come down. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to also just stretch out our legs a little bit before we end. So we're going to go ahead and pull that right leg in for a nice big stretch before we end. We're going to inhale for length, pulling it closer to us, and then on the exhale, really pressing it into our chest. We'll have our left leg meet, and then we're gonna go ahead and let that right leg out and go ahead and do it on our left. And you guys can just stay there in your corpse pose while you just breathe out and set your intentions for the rest of the day on the Lord. But that's all I have for you guys today. I just want you to know that you're never away from Him, or you can always just find Him on your mat when you do feel down. Thank you for practicing with me. Bye.
President Roosevelt signed the Bill of Rights.
I've always appreciated the American Legion's
My gratitude to the American
Thank
Legion.
you all of the American Legion.
We have millions of veterans that are members of our organization. Thank you.
The American Legion, we serve America and its veterans. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These 4 pillars shape our work and what we do for America. There is power in our numbers. We're the largest organization of wartime veterans in the nation. We are 2.5 million members strong, men and women from every state in the nation and around the world. No other veterans organization wields this kind of power. We work relentlessly within our 4 pillars of service, and we succeed. The American Legion takes care of our fellow veterans and their families. We maintain close ties with Congress and the leaders in Washington, D.C. They respect us. They listen to us. We sponsor research and press for medical care and benefits for all veterans and active duty service members, whether they are members of the American Legion or not.
President Roosevelt signs G.I. Joe's Bill of Rights.
You've heard of the GI Bill of Rights, one of the most important pieces of social legislation of the 20th century. It was written and passed largely through the efforts of the American Legion. We were instrumental in the formation of what is now the Department of Veterans Affairs to make sure our veterans get the care and benefits they are promised and deserve. The young people of our nation are our future. They benefit from exceptional programs and generous scholarships that only the American Legion offers. We provide athletic programs like American Legion Junior Shooting Sports, Legion Baseball, and educational and civics programs like the Oratorical Scholarship Contest, and Boys State and Boys Nation.
As Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black stated, the quality of justice that Americans receive should not depend upon the amount of money they have.
We promote citizenship and an appreciation of government. We have all been directly involved in our nation's defense as wartime veterans. We know what policies, tools, and manpower our military needs to protect this great country. We fight to get these things done.
We're all very grateful to have the American Legion on point.
We take our case all the way to the top in Washington, D.C. to ensure that America is prepared for any threat. We are patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. These pillars represent not just what we do, but who we are. We're here to serve our fellow veterans, their families, and all of America. We are here for them. We are here for you. The American Legion asks you to join us in our mission. If you share our vision and commitment to America, visit our website at legion.org or your nearest American Legion post today.